Here we are, clearing the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in the state. Everybody out here knowing it, but we the ones who take. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to code, stop for three. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same empowerment at your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, that be on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Break it down here, I'm Dr. Boyce TV.
All right. Beautiful black people, what's going on? What's happening? Everybody coming to the chat. I'm gonna give you guys time to bounce in. We're gonna have a great conversation today. Today, I want to welcome you guys to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent black people. So if you're not black and intelligent, you may want to get the fuck out because this conversation is not for you. This is for people that want to grow, people that want to build, people that want to be positive, people that want to be smart, people that want to be wealthy. So if you are in that category, say I. Raise your hand, say something in the chat. Let us know what you stand for, what you believe in, and who you are, especially in times like this when we must fight off all elements of negativity in our community. No negativity allowed in here. What's going on, John Henry? John Henry is my homeboy. I used to coach. I don't know if Marcus. My guest for today is Marcus Small, but Marcus, John was actually, I used to tutor John in college. He was actually on the football team, and he was a really smart guy. He still is. And I remember John actually was one of the first guys to get me thinking about the NCAA and the way they exploit the athletes. I remember him telling me that he wanted to major in engineering, and they told him to change his major so it could fit his football schedule, and so I remember just, you think about it now, the NCAA kind of changing how they do business and, letting the athletes make money from their brand. And I remember back then, like when I was hanging out with John on campus, that was like when it started to form in my head, like this whole system screwed up. But anyway, man, first of all, I'm gonna introduce you first, and then I'm gonna shut up and let you do the talking because I talk too damn much. Everybody, I want you guys to know who I'm speaking with. The brother that I have the pleasure and the honor of addressing today is Mr. Marcus Small. Marcus is the creator of an extraordinary film, an extraordinary movie that you must see called The Melanin Code. Everybody in the chat, please give my brother Marcus a digital welcome, a digital round of applause, and throw out a big black power to welcome the brother. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Doing all right, brother. Doing all right. Well, I'm telling you, I'm ecstatic to have you on today because I've known you for a while. When did we meet, man? How long ago was it?
It had to been like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah. And now, did you reach out to me about being in the movie, or how did that happen? I don't know.
So I reached out to you about being in the movie, and I think you sent me over to Roosevelt. That's why I met Roosevelt, because I originally wanted to get an interview, just like on the podcast. But Roosevelt at that time was coming up, so it was a natural great fit, and he actually we actually became really good friends, and then I put him in the movie, of course. So and then I think he went back to you and said, hey, listen, Dr. Boyce, you got to check this out. You got to check this trailer out, and then that's when it all kind of came together. So I was happy about the way it went down. Yeah, man. I remember. I remember when I first saw the trailer for The Melanin Code, and Roosevelt Mitchell III, that's his name. Yep.
Usually a lot of times because I'm such a natural hermit, because I'm so focused on trying to get stuff done, I don't always look out, and I'm not connecting as much as I want to, but it's just hard because there's so much to do. And usually it's like a friend, somebody I trust that'll come up and say, no, Boyce, stop, you need to take a look at this. And Roosevelt did that,
Yeah.
In fact, that's how I met Lamar Tyler. Lamar Tyler, who made Generation One?
Yes, yeah.
That's how I met Lamar, because Lawrence was like, yeah, there's a guy named Lamar Tyler that wants you to be in his documentary. And I was like, man, I don't want to be in any more movies. I'm tired. I'm worn out. And he was like, no, Boyce, you really want to meet this guy. You really want to meet him. And I was like, all right, man, I'll go, and I met him, and I was so happy I met him. Like, this guy, he's one of my best friends. He's a good brother, and he's real cool. And it reminds me of the power of networks. I think when good brothers and good sisters connect, it's extraordinary, man. So tell me, man, let's talk a little bit about you before we dig into this topic for today, because I actually want to get, given that you did such a great film that really lays out such powerful social commentary, I'm going to ask you about some of those things because I think people would love to hear your opinion. First of all, who are you? Where are you from? And tell us about your background as a filmmaker.
So my name is Marcus Small. I'm originally from Greenville, North Carolina. I actually went to school at Winston-Salem State University. That's where Stephen A. Smith went. That's like his claim to fame. They love that. So I went for mass communications, and by the time I graduated, I realized that that program wasn't tailored to like what I really wanted to do. It was more so tailored towards like broadcast, like news. And I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. So I found this film school. A friend of mine introduced me to this film school down in Orlando, Florida called Full Sail. And that's when I attended Full Sail. And that's when everything came together. Concentrated in film, music videos, commercials, all the fun stuff that I wanted to do. So while I was at school, I was doing music videos for like Trina, Flo Rida, T-Pain, I mean, this is just like, I'm still in school and we were just doing all these videos. So that allowed me to go into commercials, even reality shows. I've had reality shows on Bravo, Lifetime. That's actually when I met you when we did the interview, when I was shooting a reality show and on like for Lifetime called Bringing Up Ballers at the time. So I do a multitude of things, reality shows and film, stuff like that. But I always knew at the end of the day, my obligation, my purpose was to be there for my people. So originally how it started out was I always wanted to do a documentary. I never forget this. The first documentary that hit me was a documentary called Zeitgeist. It changed the way I thought about religion and just life all in general. And at that time, I was listening to Tariq Nasheed doing his podcast, and he had brought up, hey, I'm about to do this film called Hidden Colors. I was like, oh man, I got to get on that. So I reached out to him, and I was like, Tariq, man, I want to produce Hidden Colors with you. And that didn't happen. So I was like, you know what? Even though when it came out, I was like, this is a phenomenal like documentary. It's amazing. Changed the way I looked at our history and everything as well. But I knew I wanted to do something current, and that's when I came up with the idea of, because that was more historical based. I want to do something that was more so solutions based in our today's land. So that's when I decided to come up with the idea of the Melanin Code. And I kind of got the general format from Neely Fuller and Dr. Wilson. I started listening to them, and they are like the OGs. And I actually got a chance to talk to Neely Fuller, and he blessed the project. So I knew it was on there. But so yeah, that's where I got my start doing music videos and all that good stuff. But I would say the Melanin Code, out of all the things I've ever done, movies, I've done horror films, reality shows, out of all the things I've done, I take the most pride in the Melanin Code.
Mm. All right, guys. So in case you just came in, I am speaking with Marcus Small. He made the film The Melanin Code. And by the way, let's do our Black Power exercise. I want to welcome everybody from Instagram. The Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins. So if you want good, compelling Black content where we talk about really deep topics every single day, go to The Real Boyce Watkins. Also, let's do our quick Black Power exercise. On the count of 3, everybody who hasn't done it yet, please hit the thumbs up button, the subscribe button if you haven't done this yet, the notification bell, and then just type Black Power in the chat to let me know that you did it. So ready? 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Everybody hit the thumbs up button, hit the notification bell, subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. And that way we can all be connected and we know what it is. This really helps us with the algorithm. And so Marcus, it's funny. Let's dig into that a little bit. Okay, so you made the Melanin Code, and which I thought was an amazing film. I thought it was a great supplement to Hidden Colors. I think it's great. It was part of the what I call the new Black Hollywood, with these what I call blackbuster films. Blackbuster films are not blockbuster films. Blackbuster films are films that come out of our community by filmmakers right in our space that are reflecting our issues. And in that crowd, I would consider yourself, Tariq Nasheed, Rick Mathis, Mark Harris, who made Black Coffee, Dorian Chandler, who made Resurrecting Black Wall Street, The Blueprint, Tierra KJ Williams, who made Raising a Black Scholar. And you just kind of go down the list in terms of these Black filmmakers that are doing these great projects that are, just damn good, better than anything coming out of Hollywood. When you made Melanin Code, it seemed to me, I wondered if there were people that thought, oh, wait a minute, Hidden Colors is already out. This is just another Hidden Colors. Can you explain the difference between what your project was and say what the wonderful work that Tariq did with Hidden Colors?
Yeah, absolutely. I get that all the time. Like when especially when I put up the trailer, I was reading the comments and they always compare the Melanin Code to Hidden Colors, which is a good thing. Hidden Colors is an amazing film, like I guess it's franchise. But the difference between Hidden Colors and the Melanin Code is Hidden Colors is a historical base. Now they do have solutions in like the very end when they talk about well, they have sections talking about solutions. However, the Melanin Code, we go through all areas of activity, all 9 of them. And that's from education, entertainment, all the way to sex and war and religion. So we deal with solutions. This Melanin Code is a solutions-based documentary. We have historical references, but it's mostly geared upon like solutions. So every area of activity, you'll be given like, what's the problem? Why is there a problem? And what's the solution? So it goes down that whole format.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So solutions-based layouts of films. I think solutions are important, right? Because you have a lot of complaining, a lot of people upset and mad, a lot of reaction to things that are done, but you don't really have much conversation about being proactive, right? Mm-hmm. We know where the oppression is coming from. We've analyzed that to death, but I think that it seems to me that there's a lack of energy put into really saying, how do we restructure a community that is able to survive and thrive, in a competitive environment. So let me ask you this. Let's just start here. When you talk about the Melanin Code, I've heard people talk about being on code. Yes. Like right now, there's a whole conversation in the Black community about being on code. A whole conversation with reparations about being on code, ADOS, being on code, ADOS versus FBA, this person versus that person, on code, on code, on code. And then I hear the Melanin Code. So can you tell us what the Melanin Code means, and then also maybe what being on code even means for you?
Yes, absolutely. I tell people this all the time when they ask me, like, what is the Melanin Code? So the first legit job I've ever had was at Chick-fil-A. All right. And I still eat that to this day. Chick-fil-A is amazing. But before I touched the register machine, fry machine, even prep the chicken, they set me down and I watched a tutorial video, an instructional video. In that video, it talked about the dress code, the rules, the regulations, the code of conduct. That's what the Melanin Code is. The Melanin Code is an instructional video, a tutorial video for melanated people, because we have to really go back to the basics. We have to start over and see, like, on the ground level, like, how do we need to operate? How do we need to function as a race? Because we're not thriving. We're at the same place we've been at for centuries. So basically the Melanin Code is just a solutions, like I said, solutions based. So when we talk about group economics, like you went in there, first of all, I gotta say, I love, like, you could have been the Melanin Code by yourself. Like, it was so hard to choose the sound bites from you, Dr. Boyce, that it was just like, it was unbelievable. But you broke down like what group economics was, because Claude Anderson breaks it, he's broken it down plenty of times. But it's also good to hear another perspective of like what group economics is and like how important it is. Because we can't, and this is one of the quotes in the movie, you can't move without a dollar. You can protest, we can do all this other stuff, but unless you have an economic base, you can't do anything. So that's one of the things that we talked to. We start off with like finances, like how us pulling our money together helps us, what to do with our money, how to invest. I love the KID model that you brought up in there as well, the KID, knowledge, investment, and discipline. That was amazing. That was like one of my favorite parts. Actually that part got a pop too. I loved it. But there's a lot of things, religion, when it comes to religion, it's okay for us to have our difference in religions, but at the end of the day, we're still a race of people. We're still melanated. We still have this one villain that's on our throats right now, and that's white supremacy. So this is the problems that we need to sort out. So the Melanin Code, when I talk about education, we talk about education, like how we need to build our own schools, how, home care, what is it called? I want to say school, when you in-house school, I forgot the name.
Oh, homeschool.
Homeschool, yeah, I don't know why I just had brain fart right there. Homeschool, why that's important. I have family members that did homeschool and they provide homeschool for their kids. And at first you think about it, it's like, how is that possible? Like, why does that make sense? I even, like, as a kid, I laughed at it. I was like, they're not joining the public schools and even the private school, but it actually helps. There's a positive thing, and then there's a community of homeschools. So we go through that. We talk about entertainment industry, the entertainment. We talk about Colin Kaepernick, how standing for the flag, how where that whole the whole song came from. Lift Every Voice. I seen you brought that up about how like that is not highlighting where we need to go in the path of. And I don't want to give the film away, but it's so much information.
Yeah,
That
yeah. That song is. I mean, I don't dislike. I mean, I don't hate the song. Like I'll sing it if
yeah.
it's time to sing it. But has anybody ever read? Like asking everybody in the chat, have you ever really read? Give me a yes or no. Have you ever read the lyrics of "Lift Every Voice and Sing"? You know, which they call the Black National Anthem. Have you guys ever read the lyrics? I assume you've read the lyrics, Marcus, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's very. First of all, it's depressing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not saying I can't respect where it came from and what those people went through, right? The people that wrote it went through something we don't understand. So it comes from a place of pain, and I understand that. But when I listened to it, I was noticing that most of the song was sort of saying, you know, it was basically celebrating the fact that we survived all this horrible, horrible torture. They never really stated who did it, right? Because it's sort of this unwritten rule, like you better not mention white folks. We better keep their name out of our mouth, or we'll be labeled or attacked or whatever, right? So they never talk about where it came from, but they talk about blood and storm and these terrible things you went through, and then it's sort of leaning on this sort of, you know, faith and hope in God, like if we just keep marching through the bullshit, one day the sun will come out and God will make things better.
Yeah.
And then I connect that to, you know, the first Obama presidency, when the slogan was hope and change, right? And it's like, I'm not really going to give you change. I'm just going to give you hope that there will be change. And that's what's going to get you by, because that hope is really an opiate for the masses. Like that is a pseudo religion that will allow you to get through whatever you're going through so you can get on to the next struggle. You know, that's what I hear when I heard the song. No disrespect to it though, because you have to be cautious when addressing that. But it's real, man. We got to think about that. What are your thoughts?
Yes, it's a very passive song. It's like a white pastor actually told me this before. He said that the most segregated day in America is on Sunday. White people go to white churches, black people go to black churches. Whereas in black people, we mostly concentrate on overcoming. White people, and then this is general terms, they concentrate on conquering. And that's like, if you look back at our history, that's exactly what it's been. It's like we were trying to overcome slavery, we were trying to overcome white supremacy. While meanwhile, you have the dominant society over there, they're still conquering to this day. And that goes into like reparations as well. This is one of the things I want to say also. Jay Morrison is also in the Melanin Code. And we talked about reparations, and he gave his game plan, so to speak, his blueprint of how we should go about reparations. Now, we have a lot of theories out there. We have the ADOS, we have the, the foundation, the FD.
FBF.
So we have that. And I know that there was a time where, and I have to be very cautious when I say this, because I respect Tariq and I respect Jay Morrison. They're both like, you know, influencers. There was a time when they were beefing on like what we should do about reparations, and I hated that beef. I thought it was so petty. I thought it was so stupid. But sometimes conflict is necessary, and people have to hear both opinions. What I would have to say is I have to kind of side with Jay Morrison on this one, because I love his game plan, and I might be biased. And this is why you need to watch the Melanin Code, because he gives the blueprint on how we should do it on the world level, how we should go to world court. So yeah.
Well, and let me say this too. You know, I'll make it 100% clear. You know, when Tariq got the sense that people saw this as a beef, he did text me personally and say, "This is not a beef." I want to make it clear it's not. Now, you know, could it have been a beef? Who knows, right?
Yeah.
But what I do respect is that he went out of his way to say, "This is not a beef. We're just disagreeing. Nothing to see here. It's okay," right? And I think that's important to do, right? Because allies disagree all the time. You know, Tariq and I disagree sometimes, but you know, when it happens, you know, we go out of our way to say we're fine, we're cool. You know, he'll say something, you know, on Twitter. I think just this morning somebody said, "Hey, boy, you and Boyce are beefing." He said, "No, Boyce is my boy," and I was like, "Good, there you go. We're staying on code." It doesn't mean that we're going to see eye to eye. It just means like, no, my enemies are going to be out there, not the people next to me, right? Like, you know, like Britain, the U.S. and France are allies, but they fight all the time. But they'll never divide themselves so much that Iran can exploit the difference between the two, right? So I think that, you know, when you talk about the Jay and Tariq, and I agree with you in terms of really seeing the value of all the perspectives. I think it's also important to understand, like, okay, you know, sure, we can talk about who might win the battle, but we're winning the war together.
Yes.
There's the big picture, and we're all together in the big picture. And I make that point clear because right now you have a lot of division with ADOS versus FBA. And I had an issue with ADOS leadership, not the members. The members, I think, are misled by bad leadership. I really believe this. But the leadership bothered me because when you go down the list and you look at Yvette Carnell and Antonio Mori, who started that whole hashtag, which, by the way, guys, I got an email today that really from someone in Louisville, Kentucky, that provides a lot of, let's say, conversation points on the fact that this whole movement might have been hijacked from a scholar that lives in Louisville, Kentucky. And I'm gonna research this and bring you guys the facts. You guys can make your decision on this. But anyway, going back to it, if you go down the list, they attack everybody. My God, they attacked Dr. Claude Anderson, they attacked Louis Farrakhan, they attacked basically do-for-selfers, people that believe in that we can build our own schools and build our own businesses. They attacked Pan-Africanism. I think the video was called Pan-Africanism is Dead. There was an attack on Frances Cress Welsing, and a lot of times the people that tend to go after Frances Cress Welsing tend to be people that are heavily aligned with the LGBT movement. And the leader of the whole ADOS thing, Yvette, she happens to be, she dates women, right? And it's nothing to discriminate against, but maybe that drove the issue with Frances Cress Welsing. But my point is to say that if you're talking about a movement that is designed to provide an invite to foundational Black Americans or descendants of slaves, how can you do that and go after the people that we love the most? Jay Morrison, I think Antonio did a video attacking Jay Morrison, because they were, he's this dirty capitalist, right? Because he's actually building this fund for Black people. But then in the same breath, a couple months later, I see Antonio aligned with Byron Allen because Byron hooked him up with this job at the Griot, and Byron's cool. But I'm like, wait a minute, but Byron's a capitalist. If Jay's a capitalist, Byron's a better capitalist, right? Jay brought, pulled together 10 billion. Byron's pulled $500 million. So how is one guy a dirty capitalist and the other guy is cool? Well, it's because one guy's your buddy and the other guy's not. And I think that all these sorts of things, they bother me because I think it's fucking up the whole damn reparations conversation. Ta-Nehisi Coates. I mean, I can go down the list of all the people. They attacked Ta-Nehisi Coates. Why are you mad at Ta-Nehisi? Well, because his reparations views are blah, blah. Well, sure, but can you find a better target? Donald Trump Jr., go after him. Why Ta-Nehisi Coates? So anyway, please give me your thoughts on that, brother. I didn't mean to go into too much, but this is crazy.
It's good. I think that the ADOS, and I hate to speak badly on it because this is just like another, I guess, way to divide us, I guess, in a sense, but we have to call out the bull. I kind of side with Tariq and a lot of other people when they talk about these leaders. A lot of these leaders just want attention. And then when they get attention, they become very combative. And it just seems like there is no true agenda behind the agenda, except for getting more attention. It just seems like I hate, in my opinion, this is what we should do. As melanated people, we have to be upfront and honest about our situations. Yes, we have the ADOS, we have the FBA. We also I have to still put Jay Morrison's, his agenda up there, his game plan up there. We need to start weeding out. Listen, I've already said I like what Jay Morrison presented, but if Tariq presents something that is equal to it or that is higher value, then I'm going with that. At the end of the day, we have to look out for our race, our people, and our kids. Like our kids are the ones that are suffering the most out of this, because while we're bickering and fighting and trying to, say, you're wrong, and first of all, whoever attacks Dr. Welsing and, just like all these other people, Claude Anderson, I mean, come on, these are the OGs in the game. These are the people that are highly respected, that should be highly respected. So that whole Yvette, personally, I don't know her personally. I met her a few times. I actually think I met her at one of your conventions in Atlanta. And she was nice as a person to me, but when you see her, on YouTube, her on her platform, just like bashing other people, and it just doesn't seem like it's conducive for us as a race. So at the end of the day, we have to ride for each other. And if we have to trim the fat, as we call it in movie terms, we have to trim the fat and set that to the side, and that's what we have to do. Some people are just going to have to get left behind.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, Marcus. And by the way, I'm speaking to Marcus Small. He made the film The Melanin Code. What's your website, Marcus? Is it themelanincode.com? Something like that?
Yes, it is. Themelanincode.com.
There you go. So you guys got to go see the trailer. This movie is really, really good, by the way. Hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please do that. Also, I want to mention this too, Marcus, man. You know, when you talk about the people contributing to the reparations debate, I think it's also very important that we pay homage to the ancestors and not even and the elders who were fighting on this 40 years ago. Absolutely. You know, people don't know this, and I think it's important for everybody who's watching, who cares about this debate. Mention this on social media. Dr. Claude Anderson was filing lawsuits for reparations 30 years ago, and he has literally spent hundreds of thousands of dollars of his own money on these reparations lawsuits. And from what I understand, you know, none of the people that are, you know, in the forefront of this debate have put money in his pocket to help him fight those lawsuits. Mm-hmm. I can personally say, and I got receipts on this, that I put well over $100,000 into Dr. Anderson's pocket over the last 2 or 3 years. Probably more than that. I haven't even counted. I don't keep up because he's like a grandfather to me, and I love this man. But I'm telling you guys, you know, you got people out there that are really OGs in the sense that they really put skin in the game. They wasn't just talking on YouTube. And there's a big difference between people that are talking on the internet and people that were literally packing up all, you know, suitcases full of documents and going and filing lawsuits. Look it up. Look up Dr. Claude Anderson, the 1866 Indian Treaty. And I'm hoping I can convince the community to consider going to his platform, theharvestinstitute.org or powernomics.com, and supporting this man, because these lawyers are not cheap. They're very expensive. And also, let's not forget Cobra. You know, Cobra was fighting on reparations for a long time. Now, the thing is, I think there's room to say, you know, hey, let's push it a little further. Let's try something a little more radical, because this approach may not be the optimal approach. I agree with you, right? Like, there's room to critique everything. There's room to critique me, Ta-Nehisi, whomever, right? But I think you got to make a decision. You know, is this person, does it good outweigh the bad? Are they more of an ally or more of an adversary? And if they're more of an ally, then what you do is you seek out your common ground. So you say, okay, here's where Ta-Nehisi got it right. Here's where I want to add to what he's doing, right? I want to add to what he's doing. I don't want to dismiss and destroy and make sure disconnect him from what we're trying to do. But that's what people are doing. People are trying to delete each other. Like, because I don't agree with you on this, you're not relevant at all, and you shouldn't even be listened to. And I just think it's downright criminal to try to do that to somebody like a Claude Anderson. What are your thoughts on that?
I think the same way. This is why I think, actually, I guess I respect you a lot, because you basically brought Claude Anderson out of retirement. I remember hearing him speak. He was like, listen, I am tired. I've been doing this I've been talking about this for 30 years. I am tired. And you kind of like resurrected the whole, you know, Dr. Claude Anderson thing. So I appreciate you for doing that. But another thing is, this is why I love having like conventions. Like, I love when you have your conventions, and I love the fact that Tyreek is having his own convention. I know the ADOS is having their convention, and it seems like they're like, oh, he's competing against us, and that's all. You know, I think we can all do our own thing. We can all do our own thing.
You can have more than one fucking convention, Black people. White people have 10,000 conventions a year. What is this whole, like, we can only have one convention bullshit? Like, that's ridiculous. And again, to contradict something I heard earlier, I kept hearing people come to me and say, well, ADOS does not have a leader. There is no leader of ADOS. I'm like, if there is no leader of ADOS, then why do the leaders keep on jumping out every time somebody says something they don't like or holds a convention? Well, no, our convention needs to be the only convention. Man, get out of here with that bullshit. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's crazy. They can have their convention, support them. And if it's BS, then it's BS. You don't have to support it anymore. But I think the more the better. You know, I think we need to sit our influencers down. The whole, you know, when we talk about leadership, I don't want to say I hate the word, but I kind of dislike the word leadership, because every time we have a leader, they get assassinated. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all these leaders, and it's our fault, because we leave them out there to dry. We when they get shot and killed and assassinated, we, you know, put up pictures, hang them up in our houses and stuff like that, saying we shall overcome all the time. But then that's it. That's where their work starts. They spent their life trying to further their agenda for us to thrive as a race, and we still haven't done that. So I don't want to say hate yet, but I don't like the word leader. So let's say influencers. I would call them that. But I love the conventions, because we should have many influencers. We should even have debates. Now, I know people have their thoughts on Dr. Umar, right? And I take Dr. Umar with a grain of salt. I mean, I love his message, but him as a person, his ego and stuff like that's on a different status. But I would have loved for there been a convention where we had you on the panel, Umar, Tyreek and maybe a few other ones, because everybody at that time was butting heads. Everybody was butting heads. So let's get everybody, all the minds together, and let's come up with a solution. Yeah, we can. Conflict is entertainment. Listen, I'm a producer. I'm a TV producer. I love drama and conflict. Nobody loves that more than I do. But at the end of conflict, there's a resolution. All right. And that's what we need. We need a resolution. We need those open table talks. You know, you believe one idea, this other person believes another idea, and then they clash. That's fine. That's fine. People be, there's a lot of infighting and white supremacy. They're trying to figure out who's going to run, who's going to be the next era of white supremacy all the time. That's what they do. We're going to have infighting. That's what we do. Black families, we fight each other. Friends, everybody, we fight each other. That's what we do. But at the end of the day, let's put all that aside and let's focus on the resolution.
Yeah, well, I agree with you 100%. I tell you what, Umar ain't got nothing good to say about me. But I would totally, I can totally sit and talk to him. I can totally sit on the panel with him. I would, if we have a healthy debate where it's about the issues and not the people, I would enjoy that, But again, I think that comes from, I know in academia, that's what we learned very early is don't get offended because somebody's ideas are different from you, or even if you don't like the person, you got to separate the ideas from the people. And you got to accept the idea that the fact that your ideas are never 100% correct, that there's always going to be critiques, and it may come from a bastard that you can't stand, who you feel like is trying to be a hater, but even a hater can be right sometimes, right? And I think that at the end of the day, I would love to see that. I think, for example, when you talk about building the new Black Hollywood, I would just love for our egos to settle down enough that a filmmaker like you, now I want y'all to hear this, people, because if a project like this comes along, I hope you guys will support it. I would love it. Like if filmmakers like you were like, oh my God, I see Yvette and Tariq and Umar and this person, that person. I'd like to get all y'all together and hash it all out. And we're going to make a made for TV event for Black people where we're going to have people debate out and argue out the Black agenda from their perspective. That would be a blackbuster like a motherfucker, excuse my French. Like people would love to see that. Tell me yes in the chat if you would love to see something like that. If you'd love to see, Tariq and Umar and me and just all the usual suspects together in a room, really going at it, but then understanding almost like a Mayweather fight. I admire boxers a lot because boxers are amazing how they can go in there and be like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna fuck you up, be mad at each other, and then after the fight, they hug each other up, say, good job, man. When you hit me, that really hurt. He's a great fighter, and I'm just honored to beat him. It's like a whole different thing. And to me, that's like the essence of adulthood. Yeah. And I just don't understand this whole, like, I'm gonna take this personally to the point where I'm not gonna even speak to this person forever, to the point where what happens is you get to the point where you cut off your nose to spite your face. So that means that if there's an opportunity, like, so for example, if I had reached out to say, in Umar, whomever, and said, hey, let's go ahead and do something cool with this. Let's do an event, a public debate, and people will come, everybody's gonna love it. It's a great opportunity for your company to get some revenue in. You ain't gotta go ask for donations. You can actually make money selling a ticket to something people want to see. You know what I mean? Like you win. But if you're not even gonna pick up the phone, then that's kind of that I don't quite get that. I'll just say that, that doesn't add up for me. But anyway, do me a favor, guys, hit the thumbs up button. I'm talking to Marcus Small, who is the creator of an extraordinary film called The Melanin Code. And I'm actually going to show the trailer for The Melanin Code. So if you're watching on Instagram, you want to actually see the trailer, you're on my phone, so you can't see it. You'll hear it. But if you'd like to see it, go to drboycetv.com. Everybody on drboycetv.com, hit the thumbs up button and the notification bell, subscribe, because you're in for a treat. I'm about to show you guys this trailer. I guarantee you're going to like it. And also the website is themelanincode.com, T-H-E, that's themelanincode.com. And I'm going to pull this up now, so give me 1 second here. Marcus, this is a trailer I got from 2018, man. There might be a better trailer. If you send me a more recent trailer, I can play that one too. But all your trailers are dope, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this one. That's okay with you?
That's fine with me.
All right, here we go.
For 500 years, we have neglected the greatest evil of our time, which is white supremacy.
White supremacy is a system that dominates everything that non-white people do 24 hours a day in all of the areas of activity.
Black people are in poverty because of the legacy of slavery, because of the legacy and the continuation of white supremacy.
White people are going to continue to put into their own community, and black people don't trust their own.
There's crabs in the barrel, but then we got the crabs out of the barrel. Well, you done got out, you never look back.
Black people are economically sick, and we're being given the wrong economic medicine.
It's been instilled in us since back in slavery to divide us as a race.
We are the lesser population making the lesser income, but spending more as consumer. And that to me does not make sense.
All we do is shop. All we do is patronize entertainers and patronize entertainment.
We give away our vote and don't ask for anything in exchange.
We know that voting Democrat has not changed our condition.
Racism, it exists everywhere.
You know, a young black man is a thug, but then when a young white person does it, he's misguided.
Black men are locked up. They are thrown away. The keys tossed more than any other race.
They're building penitentiaries instead of schools.
We hand our children right over to not only their oppressor, but to a system that's proven that it ruins more black children than it actually strengthens.
Why would you take slavery out of a textbook to teach it?
I think it's very important for us to educate our own youth.
We can't continue to just sit back and pray and say, at some point, God is going to make this better. Somebody's coming back to save us.
In order for us to have a movement, we first have to make sure that our house is in financial order.
So let's wake up. Let's wake up, world.
All right. So that film is out right now. TheMelaninCode.com. What did you guys think? Did you guys like the trailer? You guys plan to see it? Give me a yes in the chat if you plan to see it. It is a very good film. I highly recommend it. And what I would love for you guys to actually see is the actual content in the film as well. Marcus and his what is your wonderful wife's name, brother?
Marifa Small, which she's in the living room right now taking care of our new baby. So I apologize. I'm being sleep deprived right now. So
that's okay. That's okay. So you're talking to a new black father. So please shout out Black fatherhood and Black motherhood. And he works with his wife. So that's Black love personified, getting things done, handling things inside the household, outside the household, making a difference in the world and doing it together as a team. And so so I hope you guys will go and take a look at TheMelaninCode.com and go watch the film. Also, if you haven't done this, please hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe button before we bounce on out of here. And last but not least, don't forget that at the end of the month, we're doing a special estate planning lecture with attorney Nicole Compton out of the Black Business School. So if you'd like to join us for that, go to drboyceseminars.com. That's drboyceseminars.com. And I'm gonna tell you, man, you're getting a ton of congratulations and lots of yeses, and people love the film. And so I'm gonna tell you, this brother's part of the new Black Hollywood, and I respect you, man. And I look forward. How old are you, brother, by the way? Are you 32?
I'm 35. I still get carded.
Okay. All right. I wasn't sure, man. But I tell you, say it again.
I think I just turned 36.
Oh, did you? I forget my birthday too, man. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you, we got a lot of great Black filmmakers out here, and I know you guys a lot. I'm gonna tell you, man, a lot of people on our channel had a big issue with Harriet, and I don't know if you saw it. What did you think about Harriet?
I didn't see it. I saw the reviews. I actually saw your review, and you were like, "I'm gonna save the Black community hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars." I've heard on both sides like, "Oh, this is an amazing movie." A close friend of mine told me that she watched it and it was amazing to her. But then I've also heard the kind of conscious, because that whole perspective. And I kind of got lean with. I knew what was up when I first saw a trailer. It didn't move me. And listen, I know how hard it is to make a movie. I know how hard it is. So I'm not like the biggest critiquer of like movies and stuff like that. But when I saw the trailer for this one, and I kind of dug into did a little bit more research, I was like, I don't know about this one. So I don't think I'm going to see it anytime soon. But that's just me. But I want you all to see it.
I recommend watching it maybe when it's on, when it's pay-per-view, you can buy it on, Apple TV Plus or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I recommend getting it that way. I don't, and I went to go see it because I just wanted to be fair, because I really wanted to like the movie, and I really wanted to believe that I was full of it, that I was wrong. And I took Alicia with me just to get another perspective. Alicia's she does a lot of work actually on more of the academic feminism. The commercial feminism, she has an issue with that, but she's more. I tell her she's a womanist, but in academia they might use the term feminism. But either way, she's a strong Black woman, and so I wanted her perspective, and we just both were sick about what we saw, because we felt that definitely from a conscious to subconscious perspective, they didn't have to throw the black man under the bus. They didn't have to rewrite history, and they took a lot of creative license that I think could be very offensive to a lot of people. And that's just my honest take on it. And so I want to say thank you, brother. I'm gonna bounce out of here and eat something for my next meeting. So I appreciate you stopping through, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. And I want to give one special shout out to Spoken Reasons. He's also in the Melanin Code. He has an amazing partner. If you watch it, you're gonna get to a part where he just does this whole like monologue, and it is amazing. So hope you all enjoy the movie. Hopefully, plenty more to come.
Yeah. Well, I love the cartoons and all of that, man. It was amazing. You guys got to see the Melanin Code, themelanincode.com, THE. That's the URL, themelanincode.com. So go check it out. And remember, there's not an either or. You can see Hidden Colors and the Melanin Code, right? And maybe there's some other young brothers and sisters that are making movies in that same genre. It's just like watching superhero movies. Like I'm a fan. Just because I'm a fan of Superman, don't mean I can't be a fan of Batman, right? So when Batman comes out with a movie, I go see that. Superman comes out, I go see that. Black Panther, I'll see that. The Avengers, I'll see that, right? So you don't have to pick one. And I want people to know this so that we don't get into competition. We want to complement each other and dap each other up and build each other up, and not feel that because you're winning, that means I'm losing, or because I'm winning, that means you have to lose. When he's losing, I'm losing, because that's my brother and we are all family. So keep that in mind, people. Very important. Thanks a lot, brother. Great talking to you, man.
Thank you so much.
All right. Be good. Peace. See you later, everybody.